Okay. Happy Monday, everyone. So, over the weekend, I managed to, focus, buddy. It's really hard to get these handrails in focus. Okay, it's not focusing at all. Okay. I got the end stanchions and the handrails done. The stock model has a drop step in between the two middle stanchions. And so what I did is I added supports to the back, like the prototype, and they're now pegged in to the top of the anti-climber, and remove the drop step. So it's a bit of a pain, but today what we're going to do is I'm going to do the this side handrail, right? So first step is to reintroduce that and that. I find it useful when you're doing handrail work that you use the body as reference, because you know your eyes go to the body, and if something's off, it'd be like, hey, something's off. So we got stanchions that go here, right? However, the end part of the stanchion, the part that goes down beside the step, is the wrong shape. It's not even close. It's going to focus. Hello. It's not focusing at all. That sucks. So, perfect. Okay, we're on there. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to remove the stock stanchions from the sprue. Where's the cut there? Yeah, okay. All right. All right, so we got rid of that. What we're left with. There we go. Get the focus back. Let's go back to the front handrails. Can you see that better? Oh, there we go. It's a button I had to push. You can see the supports on the back of the two middle stanchions. And what I did is I drilled through the front of the stanchion with the number 79 bit, and I was able to peg everything together. So it's relatively strong. This comes off, it goes on just fine. All right, let's carry on. All right. So we got this stanchion here, this set of handrails. All right, what are we going to do with it? Well, first off, we're replacing all the Kato handrails with, at least I am, it's up to you. This is 15th thou PB wire, phosphorus bronze wire. Now, I've used a caliper. The caliper says that the stock Kato handrails are that much. They're about 27.5 thou. So this will be finer. Now, question is, why don't I go with 12.5 PB wire? Well, the reason is the Kato stanchions are oversized. There's no getting around that. The only way to do this properly would be to get etched or smaller stanchions and use those in place for the Kato ones, right? So if I were to use 12.5 wire, 10 thou wire as my handrail, now then that would make the stanchions look really oversized, not just a little bit, like a whole bunch, right? So it's what I call the harmonizing the details, right? So if I got a bigger stanchion, again, I have to go with a relatively bigger PP wire, but that's neither here nor there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the first couple bends. So we got a bend like that, okay? I'm going to compare that to the stock Kato handrail. Looks like I bent it just a hair too far. Bring it back just a hair. And go back to the original. Good. Those angles are the same. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so we're going to make the second bend. All right. Comparing this to the original. Let's back up the pliers just a little bit. You want these to be identical. That should work. I'm eyeballing it to make sure everything's in the same plane. And then we'll, once I think I got the bend right, there. And that wire, when I overlay it, it's cutting those stanchions right where they should be. All right, good. Now I use my grid to make sure these are parallel on the same plane, and they're not. So we're gonna, you got to take the fussy time now, because after it's on your model, trying to straighten things out is not good. Went too far. Take the time now, get it right. Should lay flat. Okay. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it, but the angle's off here, so I need to adjust that. Get down. Went too far. Back. Not far enough. Just a little bit of back and forth. There. That'll do, donkey. See that? Okay, good. All right. That part is done. We can't do any more bends until we get the stanchions on there. So put on my optivisor. I got my number 79 drill bit. This is in a Dremel pencil with a foot pedal. It allows me to give precise drilling things. So, all right. So, to cut the stanchion, to drill the stanchion, first you have to cut one side. So we just cut off this part. It's been cut off, right? You simply take your drill. Trying to get this on camera. Okay. Hit the middle of the stanchion. If you can see that. Come on, focus. We're doing good with the focus. Come on. Okay, so you hit the middle. Carry on. Keep the drill bit level. Okay. Get all the way through and cut off the other side. All right, so we have a stanchion that's drilled through, but before we can use it, I want to make sure it sits properly on the drill bit. Now, if you notice, it's angled out that way just a hair. So I'm going to turn that drill, and I'm going to work the bit until it's straight and level, and then also from the top, you want to make sure it goes through straight. Now that's hanging off my drill bit quite nicely. Now this is the lower stanchion because they are different. Now if you want to clean up the flash, now's the time. Because once it's on the handrail, you just kind of want to leave it. All right. Then we install it. This is the lower bit here. Right on the 15th thou PP wire. Drag it all the way in. You can see it's Good. Okay. And second verse, same as the first. You cut off the handrail leading up to the stanchion, just one side, so it gives you something to hold on to. Like that. Take your number 79 drill. Critical part is getting it started in the center of the stanchion. And once you got it in there, you just keep your drill bit relatively level. It seems to me in the molding process, there's actually a void in the middle of the stanchions. That helps the drill bit follow along there. Just like before, I want the stanchion to be able to hang off this drill bit correctly in both directions. There it is. Put this off to the side. And he is the upper. Slide him on. All right. Work him down. All right. Here we are. We're done. Not. Okay. So now we're gonna actually install them into the model where they're supposed to go. Like that. Oh, upside down. All right. Like so. Obviously it's wonky right now, so straighten it up. And you want the bend to be equal distance between the two. So right now the top one has to go this way. The bottom one. It's a little bit finicky. Payoff is good. I'm using the nose as a reference to keeping things straight. You can see as I move it, see how it references the nose there? So I have to go out just a hair. Of course, the front handrails want to come off on me. I'll just pull them off for now. Okay. Reference the nose again. See how that's in line with the nose. The top one has to come up just a ways. Just a little ways. There. So they're sitting where they should. And we're going to make the bend that goes into the cab itself. Remember before we filled these holes and then drilled them out with the number 79 drill bit. So we're going to make this bend. This bend is pretty critical for everything to sit straight. So I'm holding the wire where the hole is in the side of the cab. And now I'm got one eye closed and I got the tongue out, making sure that the stanchions are vertical in reference to the body. And turns out I gotta adjust just a hair. And no, come back. Gonna make it kink. Take off my stanchions. And then, in reference to the other bend, we want this to be 90 degrees. Just like that. I want it to be a sharp bend. I can come with more different pliers and make it. Okay. And you only need a little bit to mount it into the cab. So you cut off most of it. And we reinstall again. This will be the theme is take it off, make a bend, reinstall, take it off, make a bend, reinstall. All right. So already it's, you see how this is reference the body. The stanchion's got to go this way. Stanchion's got to go this way. Carry on. All right. So the top bend, it goes in, right at the, it goes in right where the step is, and then it goes straight down, and then it matches the pilot handrail. So we're going to do the in bend, which just so happens, do this here. Let's try that. That's not bad. I can adjust it. So obviously it's not, should be 90 degrees to the last bend, so I can come simply grab the wire, push it down with my fingers a little bit. Ah, went too far. Back and forth we go. A little bit better. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Alright, so I need to put back on my front handrails because from here on in, I need to reference the front handrails. Peg, peg, peg. All right. So you reference the front. So he's got to come down where it matches the front handrail. So he's got to come down around here. And he goes straight down, and then we reference this bend. Right there. So the same. Okay, so bring my this is tricky for the camera, guys. Sorry. Making you dizzy, I'm sorry. That looks pretty good. So I just made a reference bend there. So I'm going to take off the handrails again and finish that bend. And you'll see as we go, it gets more and more difficult to take stuff off. Which is good, because we want it to stay on the model. All right. Take this bend straight down. Referencing the other bends, make sure it's 90 degrees in both directions. So you see in this way it is not. If I can grab it. So critical, because when you're looking at a model with the handrails installed, your mind, your eye goes directly to what doesn't line up. Take your time lining up this end of the thing. Okay, let's put it back on. So cab, top, and okay, all right. So straight down, we have to make a bend about out. You know where it is? It's right on the top of the deck. That's right. So we're going to grab it right on the top of the deck. And while I got a hold of it, pull it off. I can go bend, bend. Just like that. We've got the matching bend at the front. So what I got is a pair of pliers here. And if you can find this a flat pair that matches this bend here, then it's a matter of just grabbing the wire at the right spot, doing a bend, reverse bend, and then you're golden. So you notice it's not going straight down, so we're going to adjust that right now. We want it to be going straight down. Sorry, just doing little adjustments. That looks like $1,000,000. Okay. All right. Got another bend right where it's going to turn and go into the steps. About there. Again, I'm going to kink it, pull off, pull this off, pull it out. And this bend goes which way? Goes straight, like that, 90 degrees this way. Okay. And one last bend I can do freehand because I know how it's going to fit. Goes into the step, just like that. Cut this relatively short. We can trim the excess later. And see if we have a winner. No rush on the handrails. Get them straight, get them true, get them happy. Got a hole in the step where it's supposed to go. So I'm not liking that. We're going to make a change here. So what has to change? Okay. Pull off the handrail. It should line up. It shouldn't be offset. So this part here, which I just bent, is too far in. So we're going to need to fix that so the bend is around there. Straighten this up. Bring this bend back. Now I need to find my other pliers. Bear with me, be right back. All right, did you miss me? We're back. Okay. This is a more different set of pliers. I've modified these ones so they have a smaller bend to them. And 90 degrees. find the bends of the square. Let's see how this fits. Hole in the cab. Top stanchion, bottom stanchion. Probably trim this shorter. It's easy to put in. There it is. There. That is the correct profile. Bring that all the way. Step. Sorry, it's upside down, but. And that, my friends, is how I do my handrails. They're straight, they're beautiful. It's 15th thou. And you can see how the thickness of the wire harmonizes with the thickness of the stanchions. And so what's next is I'll do this side. It's the exact same process. You know, take the handrail off of the sprue, finish it up, do all the bending, and then move on to the long hood. Exact same process. We'll take this off of the sprue, bend my phosphorus bronze wire. The only difference is the PB wire is only long enough to go to about halfway up the end grab iron. So I cut it off in the middle of the stanchion. So the wire is long enough to go in the middle of that stanchion. And then the end piece of grab iron, it's its own piece. And the advantage is the end is white, right? The end grab iron is white. So if you're able to print it, to paint it separately, it looks sharp, right? So you're not having to brush paint it on afterwards. It looks sharp. Nice. The end is nice and clean, right? Yeah. So that's the end of the how I do stanchion bit. You can see where the payoff is after plugging these holes in the cab. You just have the little holes now. When that's painted, it'll look really good. It really does, you know. So there we go. That's how I drill out stanchions, make handrails.